Hi, I'm Kathy Dodson.
And I'm Jocelyn Lindsay. Welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Indie Insights. And today we're going to talk about a topic that we talk about all the time. So if you're an author who cringes at the thought of dancing on TikTok or posting aesthetically pleasing flat lays of your coffee mug and your book, breathe easy. Today, we're going to answer the big question. Do you really need social media to be successful as a writer?
Mm. It's a great question, and we do talk about it all the time. And I think for me, in the end, it just comes down to social media can be a good way to get your name out there, but I don't think that it necessarily so.
Yeah, and I think we come back to this so many times, and I think one of the things we talk about all the time is know your genre and what is your genre, because I think social media plays in a lot to what your genre is and your goals. Because if you're writing romance, fantasy, and like young adult, yeah, your readers are probably online and are going to expect you to be too. If you're writing literary fiction or serious nonfiction, they may not be there. You may not find, your readers on TikTok. So
Right.
you really have to know where your specific genre audience hangs out and meet them there, or don't,
Right.
because it's that, your genre should really inform your strategy, not FOMO.
Well, and even when you find them, again, it may not necessarily be for sale. Yeah. Colin Huber would probably disagree with me because I'm having a huge following on TikTok, right? And sold a gazillion books. But she also did that for years, over many books, working very hard, posting a lot. So that's another thing that you have to think about is, the whole time is money equation for some people. Or what do you really hate to do? I mean,
Um,
I don't know how much you have to pay me to make me do TikTok videos. Now, that's fine because my audience really isn't there anyway. They tend to be on Facebook of all places, right?
yeah.
When kind of where the book club fiction, women fiction people tend to be. Um, but you really can grow an audience for your brand,
Yes.
which is different than selling books.
And I think a lot of writers come in thinking they're going to sell books on social media. And it's no, you're not opening like a grocery store for your book. It's, you're building a brand, you're building who you are. And I often think of social media as a place where people can come to either get to know more about the world or about me. And a lot of times they already know who I am, or I get a lot of random people who just like the stuff I post and maybe aren't ever going to buy and read the book. But that happens too. It's,
You really can, even if you're not a brand professional, and I'm certainly not, you can create this, um, uh, not just aesthetic, but it's like stepping into a room of who I am and who my books are, right? So I talk a lot about travel. Well, I travel a lot. I love travel. Punched about it a lot, but it's also in my book, right? And there, three of my books are set in El Paso, Texas. So there's a lot about Texas and Mexico and food and culture and the beautiful mountains and that type of thing. And then there's the whole book club fiction, which I handle in different ways. So I can make it about the book so that people, when they buy a book from me, if they've heard or seen it with me on social media, they know what they're getting. They have an idea of what it is.
well, and like I have two very distinct social media presences as a book coach and as an author. They're two different audiences. They are two distinct brands. If you go look at Jocelyn Lindsay book coach, it's very different than Jocelyn Lindsay author. Colors are different, the moods are different, the whole aesthetic of them is entirely different. And it's a different room of it's like you're saying, it's a different room, it's a different house, it's an entirely different vibe. but I love Instagram and I love video and I love images. If I hated that visual medium, I would not do it. I think that's a big part of it. If you loathe Instagram, don't force yourself to be on Instagram.
Absolutely. And if your audience is on TikTok and you don't want to be on TikTok, there's a million ways to post super easy videos about your book that are not in your face, holding up your book or doing
Dancing.
right. I mean, and to go look at other authors, there's ones where they just turn the pages and they'll put the book up there and there's music in the background. Or it's very easy now to make a quick little video about um, the inside of your book, a mystery or whatever. Then you can do that. It doesn't, if you hate showing your book on video, the recording yourself, don't do it. If you love it, do it. Let your personality shine.
And I think that's really the key. That's really the key to social media: authenticity over aesthetic. Because readers, your audience is not looking for the perfect grid or polished content. They want to connect with a real human. They want to connect with you. And I think that's becoming even more and more true in our world, that the overly polished feel of not being authentic is, people are turning away from that. So whether you're posting once a week, 3 times a day, once a month, you've got to make it and on whatever platform, you've got to make it true to you. Don't try and emulate somebody else's social media.
Right. And don't try to be perfect. I mean, you said the perfect thing, Dr. Because I recently worked with a couple of different consultants in the book industry, and one of them does videos, and he's a videographer and a graphic designer. And he says, I have to dumb down my design or people are going to click on them. These are for video ads. And then another person that I work with said, yeah, same thing. I'm a graphic designer. I want to make everything beautiful and perfect. And it doesn't get as many clicks when it's like that.
No.
It gets more clicks when it just looks like it's something that's thrown together that looks real, not perfected.
Yeah. They want real. We all want real. I want real. You want real. It's that authentic connection. That's what we're craving these days. We don't need another slick, glossy piece of commercial coming in our mailbox. We want to see that this is a real human person behind the screen selling books.
Yes, and can't sell better than you.
Yes, exactly. So we are going to keep talking about this over and over again, because, really there's no one size fits all. It's really what works for you. Your readers want connection. They don't want perfection. So it's really about finding the ways to show up that feel good and sustainable and, have fun with it. I think if you can have fun with it, that is like the key. Because my ridiculous videos are always the one better.
I haven't done it. You want connection, not perfection.
Exactly. So let us know in the comments if there's a platform you're using, what that how we can find you over on that platform. We'd love to come check it out and see what you're doing. I've always loved seeing what people are up to on social media, wherever they're at. So we would love to come look at you and leave some comments. So, and leave us some comments and subscribe. We'd love to have you come back here next week and join us again. Thank you for being here. Bye.
Bye.